Good afternoon and welcome to today's Wednesday webinar. My name is Lupe Hernandez and I work for Iowa College Access Network, or ICANN, as a student success advisor. Today's topic is how to apply to college. For the class of 2024, those seniors, it's the time they need to start thinking about where to apply if they haven't done so already. So I'm just going to give you some tips on what to keep in mind, what to do as you're going through that process. So let's get started. Again, just real quick, if you're not familiar with ICANN, we are a nonprofit organization. So all of our services are at no cost to you, parents, to you, the students, the high schools. So keep us in mind as you're going through this process of post-secondary planning. We are here to assist in any way possible. Before we start with the topic, I just want to share with everyone that we have a materials library available on our website. So we have printed publications that we have sent out to school counselors, but you can also view them on our website. If you go to the website listed here, you can see all of our publications. We have a college and career planning booklet, a financial aid booklet, a trades booklet, and how to make a successful transition into high school. That one would be for 8th graders or incoming college freshmen. So these are just some pieces that are available to you if you go to our website. So let's get started. So before we even start with applying, the one thing I do want to mention to seniors is, before you apply, do you have a career path? Do you know what you're majoring in? Because of course that's going to determine where you apply to college, okay? If students still don't know what they're going to do, where they're going to go to college, I highly recommend doing a career assessment. Career assessments help students identify their interests and potential career pathways. So every high school in the state of Iowa has a career assessment program. So talk to your school counselor. If you ask your students and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, talk to the school counselor, because they will give you information on the career assessment program that is used in their high school to help identify potential career paths and majors. But I do want to mention, there is a career assessment tool that's available to everybody that's called My ACT. If you go to that website listed there in blue, it is a career assessment available to students. But again, if I were a parent, my advice to you is see what your high school uses, because your student already has an account on there. So use that tool before you go to My ACT. Again, with career assessments, it helps students identify the potential career. It's going to help them hopefully choose the right major or the right program. It's going to help with campus visits. This is the perfect time to go on campus visits for juniors, for seniors, especially just getting in the last few campus visits, and even for sophomores. And going to visit the right colleges, of course, so that way you're not wasting your time. Doing a career assessment will help with that. So before even starting to apply, find out what you want to do. Something else is, real briefly, ACTs. So a lot of colleges are going test optional, where it's not required for admissions. So just real quick, if students are going to take the ACT, there are some ACT test dates coming up here soon in December 2nd, February 10th, and April 13th. For those students who want to take the SAT, test dates coming up for this academic year would be December 2nd, March 9th, and May 4th. If you're curious about the ACT test, go to actstudent.org, and the company that handles the SAT is collegeboard.org. So more information on registration, cost, test dates, registration deadlines, what they're going to be tested on, go to these websites and you'll get all the information you need on there. And like I said, a lot of colleges are going test optional, where it's not required for admissions, but the ACT or an entrance exam test, a placement test, might still be needed for scholarship purposes. So when you're going on your campus visits, and you're asking, do you require the ACT for admissions? And they say no, your next question should be, do you require it for scholarships? And if they say yes, we highly recommend that students take the ACT or the SAT. So there's different types of college admissions, and it just depends on the college, really. and what type of program they're going into. So there's regular admissions, rolling admissions, open admission, early decision, early action, and deferred admission. I'm going to go over all of these. So let's get started with regular admission. So with regular admission, this is the most common option for four-year colleges and universities. So if a student is applying to a four-year school, more than likely they have regular admission. This is where students must submit their application by a certain date. So there is a deadline to apply, and applications are reviewed and they're either accepted or rejected, or students get waitlisted and letters go out on the same day. So with regular admissions, there's a deadline to apply, and students get notified on the same day whether they get accepted, rejected, or waitlisted. And when I say the same day, I don't mean the same day that they apply. I mean, like, if they applied today, let's say, they're going to find out sometime in the spring. Everyone that applies will be notified, let's say March 1, if they of their admissions decision. Rolling admission. So rolling admission is common at large state universities and some private colleges in Iowa. This is where the college will evaluate each college applicant as it's received, and they're going to respond to the student within 7 to 10 days. So it's a very quick turnaround rate. There is no deadline. You can apply July before senior year. So college admissions applications for rolling admissions opened up mid-July. So again, any class of 2024 students, if you're thinking about going to a big university, Iowa State, UNI, you can start to apply for those now. And you're going to hear back pretty fast if you apply through rolling admission. Open admission. This is typically used with community colleges, online schools, and distance learning programs. So open admissions means that nearly all high school graduates or people who obtain a GED will be admitted. Okay, students will take a placement test to determine academic level. So again, these are for students who are applying to like Western Iowa Tech, DMAC, Kirkwood. They have open admissions where almost everybody will be accepted as long as they have a high school diploma or a GED, and then their placement test, whether it's the ACT or the ACTSAT test or the Compass test, it's gonna let them know what classes they're going to be placed in. So if they need like remedial courses, so if they need some classes to kind of brush up on their math or science, they're able to do that at these types of institutions. All right, early decision. This one is pretty unique to selective schools, selective colleges. So I'm talking about like the Ivies, of course, University of Michigan, St. Olaf. These types of universities offer early decision. So this is where a student agrees to attend the college where they're accepted and can't apply to any other college or university. And this decision is binding. So my advice to students who are considering applying to a selective school and they're planning to apply early decision, please talk to your school counselor and get feedback and talk through this process and talk with the family, because again, this is a binding decision. So if a student gets accepted, they pretty much need to go there. So it's a little intense in my opinion. So again, for those students, I really recommend that you talk to the admissions counselor and your school counselor just to know what early decision entails. Early action, similar, but a little different. Early action is where is like early decision, but you're applying to your top choice school, but it's not binding. So if you get accepted, you don't have to go there, and you can apply early action to more than one school. All right, compared to early decision, you can only apply to one, and you can get accepted to multiple schools and make your decision in the spring based on the financial offers that you get. So pretty much the biggest difference is early decision is binding, early action is not binding. Deferred action. This is a type of admissions that I've seen since like COVID. I've seen students kind of take advantage of deferred admissions a little bit more. This option means that the student has been accepted but want to defer their enrollment for a year. So this is for students that want to take a gap year. that maybe they haven't really honed down what they want to study, or maybe they want to do a year of like study abroad, or they want to volunteer, or they want to work for a year. So this is where the college will say you're accepted, but we're going to let you start fall of 2025, for example. So talk to the colleges, because not every college offers deferred admissions. Oh, one more thing about deferred admissions. Not really admissions, but this is for scholarships. So for those students who are thinking they might do deferred admissions and you're applying for scholarships, please make sure that if you get a scholarship, that it can be deferred that year, for that year, because if you get this money and you have to use it for academic year 2024-25 and you're not going to be in school, well, you just kind of wasted your time. So if you're going to do deferred admissions, make sure the scholarships you're applying to are also deferred admission. A little bit more for admission in the state of Iowa. So like I mentioned before, most colleges in the state of Iowa use what's called rolling admissions, meaning that you can apply to any time. Application opened up mid-July. You can, again, there's really is no deadline, but with that being said, I don't like to say that to students, because then they're going to wait till the last minute to apply for admission. So I tell them, before you leave on Thanksgiving break, apply for admissions, regardless of where you're wanting to go, whether it's Iowa, Central, Kirkwood, DMAC, Buena Vista, wherever it is, before Thanksgiving break, try to have those admissions applications turned in. And then once the student has applied and been accepted, they're going to start to get information on scholarships, scholarship visit days, housing options, financial aid opportunities. So this is another reason to apply early. So that way students are not missing out on financial opportunities, housing options, because they're deciding to apply later in the spring. So before Thanksgiving break, class of 2024, apply for admissions. Another thing I would advise is to make a list. Compile a list of no more than 10 colleges. Now, I'm not limiting you to 10. You can apply to as many colleges as you want. A few years back, it's been a while, but a young lady I was working with, she was applying to 27, and that's fine. But I'm saying 10 because that way you keep the list manageable. Okay, so in your list, you should include a reach school. So this is where the student has a lower chance of getting admitted, meaning that the student's academics or qualifications are lower than what students have that are already there. Okay. So probably school, the student falls into the average set of qualifications that students who are accepted typically have. So you have a good chance of getting in. And then a likely school is a for sure I'm going to get in. All right. So I think students should have all, like the dream school, the I'm probably going to get in, and the for sure I'm going to get in. And I tell students, even if you don't get into your top choice, you're going to get a quality education regardless of where you go. So don't be discouraged when if something happens, if you get deferred or if you get denied. Students are still going to be able to have a quality education regardless of where they go. Okay. Something that's happening nationwide and statewide is called here in Iowa, it's called the Iowa College Application Day or Month. This is, again, a nationwide campaign from the U.S. Department of Education. So this is where we, again, the Department of Education is encouraging students to apply for college early. So high schools decide if they want to participate in this campaign. I know of a few schools that are doing this. There are a few schools that are doing like a college application day. Some high schools are doing college application month. So check with your school counselor to see when that's going to happen and how they can help the students apply for admissions. This is where, this is the opportunity for students to get one-on-one help from school counselors, teachers, college admissions representatives, and you'll be able to get the application turned in and it's done correctly. and it's done on time. So again, take advantage of this Iowa College application day or month, depending on what your school is doing with this campaign. All right, so what are you going to see on the application? So what are the parts of the application? So personal information, so demographic info. One thing I will say about this part, I know it seems very like basic, like of course they're going to ask for my name and everything, but please make sure that when students are applying for admissions, that when they're filling in this paperwork, that everything matches the Social Security card. If it does not match, you're going to have issues when you start to apply for financial aid and for scholarships and for loans. So everything, when it comes to, again, college admissions apps, the financial aid application, everything needs to match the Social Security card. I'll give you an example with me. I go by Lupe Hernandez, but that's not my government name. If I was a high school senior and I were to apply for all this stuff with Lupe Hernandez, I'm going to have issues in the future with when I set up my financial aid form, my scholarship applications, because that name is not in the Social Security Administration system. So again, when students are filling out this information, have it match the Social Security card. Let's see, for students, please encourage your students. The same goes with the emails. First of all, tell them not to use their high school email accounts when filling out paperwork that has to do with their life after high school. So encourage them to use their personal email accounts, their Gmails, their Yahoos, their iClouds, because there are some school districts that deactivate those email accounts after they graduate, and then they're no longer going to have access to that information. And you're going to need this information every year. So again, when students are applying for admissions and financial aid and scholarships and internships and job shadows and jobs, they need to get into the habit of using those personal email accounts, because they're going to keep having access to them even after they graduate from high school. Just a real quick thing here, students who are undocumented or under JACCA status, they can still apply for admissions. The only thing here is in the state of Iowa, they cannot apply for federal or state financial aid. For more information on that, you can contact me directly and I'll go over some of the options, but you are able to apply for admissions. The application will ask you for your high school transcript. So however your high school handles transcripts, whether it's through, your registrar's office, your school counselor, your principal, however they do that, just make sure that it's getting turned in to the colleges you're asking them to do that too. Test scores. With test scores, if you do decide to take the ACT or the SAT, keep in mind that when you apply for admissions, you can omit your test scores and then you can submit them later on. All right, so if students are like, okay, I'm ready to apply, but I wasn't happy with my score when I took it in September, you can apply and then submit the score later. Just remember that there are some colleges that there is a deadline. Like some colleges will say the last test score we will accept is the test that you took in February. So keep this in mind. You can apply for admissions without an ACT score. You can submit it later, but there is a deadline as far as what is the last test date that you can submit those scores. Some colleges will ask for an essay. Don't be surprised about that. Some colleges, an essay or a personal statement, honestly. Some colleges will ask for a fee. So the regents in the state of Iowa do charge you $50 to apply for admissions. But if a student gets like free or reduced lunch, there might be a waiver. So talk to your school counselor about potential waivers for admission. So check with them. Letters of recommendation. Some colleges will ask you for letters of recommendation, and be prepared with these. So when it comes to letters of recommendation, don't have them be family members, because of course we're biased. We're going to say you're the best. So have a teacher do it, maybe a teacher that you have a close connection with and that you recently had them as a teacher. Have your coach, have your pastor or your boss, your supervisor. You know, those are people that can speak to your character and will hopefully enhance your admissions profile. Interview, don't be surprised about that either. So a lot of colleges, especially those who are going test optional, where they don't require an ACT for admissions, they might ask you to come in for an interview, because again, if you're not submitting a test score, they have to look at something else to decide if you're going to be accepted to their school or not. Okay. Some colleges might even ask you for an activity resume. All right. We actually last Wednesday, my coworker did a webinar on how to create an activity resume. So go back on our website. So it's icansucceed.org/videos, and you can look back at last week's webinar that had to do with putting together an activity resume. All right. The common application. Some students might want to apply using the Common App. It's called the Common Application, but I'm going to go with Common App. So this is an application where students can apply to multiple colleges at once. Okay. So you can apply to all colleges. There are certain colleges at the moment. There's over 1,000 colleges that participate in the Common App. So you can apply to all. You have to find out if the colleges accept the Common App. So you send it to multiple colleges. And what's neat about this is that the Common App, the website, it uses a grid to ensure the requirements are met for each selected school. So if a school is asking for letters of recommendation or an activities resume or a personal statement or whatever, it's not going to let you submit the application until those requirements are met. So that way you are certain that you are submitting everything that's needed at once. There is no fees. There's no fees to do the Common application, the Common App, but there are fees to send it to the colleges, if that makes sense. So there's no fees for registering, but there will be a fee to submit the application. Similar to the Common App, something called the Coalition app. Again, you want to make sure that the colleges will accept the Coalition app. Currently, 150 colleges accept this application. It's free to register, all right, for the Coalition app, but then there's fees associated to send it to the colleges. So again, Common App or Coalition app, if for those students who are applying to multiple colleges, you can do it all at once. A little bit on college athletics. So I'm not well versed on this, so I apologize ahead of time, but I'm going to do my best to let you know what all of these entities, all these associations have to do with admission. So the NCAA, the NAIA, the NJCAA. For more information, we have a whole page on our website that has to do with college athletics. So the NCAA, the National College Athletic Association, this is the governing body for intercollegiate sports. Students who are considering Division I or Division II need to register with the NCAA. Division III, you don't need to register. Scholarships are available for D1 and D2. And then the purpose of the NCAA is to determine, to certify that the student is academically eligible to participate in those sports. You would need to register junior year. All right, and you really want to make sure that you get assistance from your school counselor for this. Here's the website for the NCAA. NAIA, National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. There are 300 member colleges. Prospective college athletes must register with NAIA Eligibility Center. Again, they offer scholarships for D1 and D2, and they do not offer scholarships for D3. For more information on NAIA, go to this website listed here. And then junior college, National Junior College Athletic Association. This promotes and fosters two-year college athletes. To learn more about their requirements, go to the highlighted website here. They do offer full or partial scholarships for athletics, and eligibility does vary by school. And you want to make sure that you're contacting your schools and your coaches about eligibility and financial aid opportunities. Real quick, social media. I'm not going to go too much into this because students have been hearing this for a long time, but this is really where it starts to get serious. Students, clean up your social media accounts, delete or unfollow people that you don't know or you don't talk to anymore. Unfollow inappropriate pages and groups. Please do not jeopardize your future for something silly. So just be very careful with your privacy settings, your tag options. Just assume that people are looking at it always, whether it's a college admissions reps, your coaches, potential employers. So just be very careful. Set up a professional email account. I mentioned before that students need to get into the habit of using a personal email account. Please make sure that it is a professional email account. Check the email often, set up the voicemail, make sure it's appropriate, and again, check it often and return those phone calls. So what's next for high school seniors? Keep working on those grades. You can file the FAFSA starting at the end of December for class of 2024. Students need to have applied and been accepted to a college in order to receive a financial offer. Okay, so this is why we encourage students to apply early, so that way when you do your financial aid, the college has everything, and then they're ready to send you your financial offer later in the spring. Start looking for and asking about institutional scholarships. Please, when you guys are going on your campus visits or talking to college admissions reps, please be asking them about institutional scholarships and what those requirements are. Local scholarships are going to become available at the end of December, and they usually go on until the end of May. Apply for as many scholarships as possible. We have a scholarship database on our website. I am in charge of it. I'm going to start updating it around Thanksgiving, and then I'm going to keep updating it monthly until the end of May. And if you want to receive our monthly scholarships that we have on our scholarship database, go to this website, icansucceed.org/sign up, and you'll get an email from me, from ICANN, that has a list of scholarships that are due in December, January, February, March, April, and May. So it's a free website. It's a free service. Financial packages are going to come out starting February all the way through April. So keep an eye out for those financial offers. And then college decision day is May 1st of senior year. So May 1 is National Commitment Day for high school seniors. By then, they should have already applied for admissions, done their financial aid, done their scholarships, and they can get a real full picture as far as financially, academically, socially, what's going to be the best option for them. All right, I'll leave you with this. If you guys need more help with this process, keep ICANN in mind. This is our toll-free number. This is our website. Our website is really full of a lot of really good info, you guys. So I do advise and recommend you to go check it out. Thank you for joining me. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.